confident that Queenslanders can respond to this threat as we've been responding since January last year. So we have been facing this pandemic since January, 12 months, and we have managed it extremely effectively every single time because Queenslanders have listened. And I need people in Greater Brisbane to listen today. So those are the people in Moreton Bay Regional Council, Brisbane City, Redlands City, Logan City and Ipswich City. It is critical because I believe if we can get on top of this today, we will be able to manage it and we will not need to go back through that lockdown period that we had to go through in March and April. We can do this quickly and rapidly. So yesterday we learnt at 4 p.m. yesterday that cleaner who'd worked at the Grand Chancellor had the new variant of COVID-19 that's been circulating in the UK. We know that strain is 70% more infectious, and we know the extreme difficulty that the UK has had in controlling their outbreak due to that strain. So we need to act really, really fast. We need to find every single case now. We need to find every person who might have had contact with that lady now, find them and get them into quarantine. And that's what we've got to do over the next 3 days, and I have absolute confidence that we'll do that. Until we've found all those people, we can't relax. And it's important we do it immediately. And we know, because people have been very mobile recently, it's actually hard to find people. So I need people to be at home so we can contact trace them, so we can get them to go into quarantine in their home for 14 days, so we can test them and quarantine them and test them again. That's absolutely critical. Then we know this particular variant can spread very rapidly if it gets hold. So my hope is that it hasn't got hold. This woman has been exceptionally helpful with us, telling us exactly where she's been, so we're following up. So yesterday I gave you those sites of concern. I'm going to go through them again because they're so important. Anyone who's been to any of those sites needs to immediately come forward and get tested. So if they've been at the Altandi station on the 2nd of January, Roma Street station, the 2nd of January, Central station, 2nd of January, they're important. So we are contacting people that we're able to find, but if you know you've been there, come forward, particularly if you've got any symptoms at all. Then Coles, Sunnybank Hills on the 5th of January and Woolworths, Callumvale North on the 3rd of January and the Nextra, Sunnybank Hills newsagent on the 5th of January. So all of those venues were put out yesterday on our website. They're really important. The good thing is that this lady hasn't been to any restaurants or cafes, and when we know they are such a critical area for spread, so that's really good news. And we know people have already started responding. Over 13,000 tests done yesterday, which is exceptional. So we need to continue doing all that testing, and anyone in that Greater Brisbane area, it's critical that you come forward with any symptoms at all and get tested. That is really important at this time. Now, so those restrictions have been put in place for 3 days, so we can find the people who've possibly come into contact with this woman, isolate them, quarantine them, manage them, and where we've not been able to find people, they'll be at home and we'll be able to work out what our risks are over the next 3 days. So that means we did it all in March. Everyone, I think, knows what they're doing and did it very effectively. We're just asking you to do it again, hopefully only for the 3 days. So that's to stay home, except for those 4 reasons. So, of course, if you need to go to work, you're an essential worker, you can't work from home, remembering we're going into a long weekend, and maybe Monday could just be extended and people work from home on Monday. So that's the first thing. Or if you need to access healthcare, of course, leave home to access healthcare. Then secondly, to buy any essentials, food and so forth, There is absolutely no issue. All our shops are fully stocked. There will be nothing stopping that happen. There is no need to go and buy up big. If you've got enough at home for the next 3 days, just stay home and wait till next week to do your shopping. Then, if there are any vulnerable people that you would normally provide care for, of course, go and provide care for those people, remembering, as back in March, they're at higher risk. So if you don't need to, don't go and visit your elderly grandmother. We last night put in place restrictions for our most vulnerable venues, so aged care, disability accommodation services, prisons and hospitals. So all of those closed down last night and visitors aren't allowed. So we've already done that work. If you normally provide care to a vulnerable person, think through what the risks are there. You don't want your elderly relatives to end up getting this strain of this variant of the virus. So then the last one, exercise. It is important to exercise, of course it is, but please do so in your local area and do it in your family group or at most with one other person. Again, stay local and protect your family and yourselves at this time. We don't want this to spread.